Both of you guys, how are you getting settled into Fayetteville? How are you liking the area? And Mitch, I guess you're the new guy, so probably very new to you.
Yeah. I think like right at 30 days or something like that now. I'll be perfectly honest with you, 30 days ago, I didn't know much about Fayetteville, Arkansas. And then when I drove up here, everybody who I told when I was coming up here, everybody said, man, you're going to love that place. And I said, okay. And I start driving. And, man, I got here, and I can see why they say that. It's a beautiful place now. I mean, it's a cool town. Really cool. People are great, you know. Big thing that here is, you know, the same thing we tell all the recruits all the time. This is the only show in town. You know, you're not fighting an NFL team. You're not fighting any of those. So, like, when you go to Walmart, there ain't nothing but Arkansas stuff in there. You know, this ain't like the state. Coach was too. We were both originally born in Alabama, you know, and you go to the Walmart there and you're going to see Auburn stuff. You're going to see Alabama stuff. You're going to see UAB stuff. You're going to see a lot of stuff. And here's just not the case. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, obviously being here a little bit longer than Coach, going on almost 4 months. The transition's been great. It's kind of touch on what Mitch said, man. It's beautiful up here. It's a great area to raise a family. Great community, obviously, man. They're all Razorback fans up here. But the transition's been great. But it definitely starts with the people. And the community, it's a lot of great people. And I heard a number of great things about Fayetteville and been very, very impressed thus far. Now with my family, kind of similar to Coach, our families are still back in Memphis at the current time. We actually just recently moved in over spring break. We closed on the house up here, and our house in Memphis officially sold today. So it's been a whirlwind for us. But we have two boys, a 5-year-old and an 8-month-old. So we're allowing our 5-year-old to finish preschool prior to them officially moving up. But they'll be up here at the end of May. So, but it's been tough, you know, just being away from the family. But all in all, it's been great up here, though. Just excited, thankful for the opportunity. But we know it's a blessing to be up here. But it's a great community. I love Fayetteville, and I know my wife should be fired up about this. Just the public school system is really, really great. So we're excited to get our little man up here to start kindergarten in the fall.
Quarterback competition obviously is a big storyline. You probably knew you were getting that question. How are things going so far? What are strengths, weaknesses of the combatants there?
Man, things are going great. It's a good room. It's a cool room. I'll be honest with you, it's a very positive room. We kind of joke about it all the time. They're like each other's biggest fans out there on the field sometimes, you know, and cheer for one another. Hey, man, good throw, good read, all of that kind of stuff. But we're in a situation where I think the first 3 days before spring break is more about just teaching everybody, right? Like, this is how we move around practice. This is how we do these drills. This is the verbiage we use, the cadence. You know, it's always funny with quarterbacks. You don't think about little things like that. You gotta make sure they say the right cadence and they don't go back to, you know, Blue 42. And it's like, no, we're not a Blue 42 operation, you know. And then I think now, once we get on the backside of spring break, now it's about building those calluses, right? And for a quarterback, obviously, a lot of that has to do with their mentality, building the calluses of their minds and how they operate and the decisions they make, and putting them in those situations. Coach Cramsey, I'm going to tell you, he's one of the best I've ever been around at throwing those guys in situations and seeing how they respond, and giving them a chance to build those calluses. And they've responded well to that. It's a cerebral group. They have a great sense of urgency to improve, if that makes sense. You know, over the break, they all took VR goggles home with them so that they could watch the first 3 installs while they were over break. You know, we were joking because one of them said, yeah, man, I was running a QB draw and I almost ran into the room. I forgot that I wasn't, you know, on the field and all of that kind of. My mom's like, hey, stop. But those are the type of kids that they are. You know, they're constantly sending you texts wanting to know, hey, what does this play look like? Is this right? Those type of things. Kind of briefly, individually, obviously KJ's got a unique skill set. Dude's very athletic, but he's very cerebral too. he's just a kind of a savvy ball player. You know, you can tell he's been around a lot of ball. Kind of comes natural to him, some of the conversations and things like that. Smooth thrower. And then AJ, obviously, I've got a lot of experience with him, being around him. Another like very, very high cerebral kid, very smart football player. He's one of those that has that unique skill set of taking what you see on film, and he can do that on the grass. Like, he can see that blitz coming, and a lot of people can't do that. It's one thing to see it on a big projector. It's another thing to see it coming when you're there. Probably not quite the mobility that KJ has, you know what I mean? But he is a big guy. Then you got Braden, who's played a lot of ball. You know, Braden Fuller, who's a D2 guy, which former bus leaguer, so me and him have a little kinship there. But he's played a lot of ball, super productive. And then Cade Trotter, there's the fourth dude who's just ultra passionate. Like, that dude, he gets the crowd going, you know, like, he's a lot of fun. Like, you watch him play ball, that dude is having the time of his life playing football, and it's contagious. So all of them bring different things to the table, and then collectively makes them a lot of fun to be around.
Hey, Larry, same question for you. What the rooms look like, the sorting process, what you've seen from your group so far?
So far, man, I'm excited about this group. One thing that I've been most pleased with is just how they kind of hold each other accountable, kind of feed off each other's energy, kind of coaching each other up. But it's fun. You got some guys that that has played some ball. You got some guys, some unproven guys who we're excited about. Obviously, we added a few pieces with Chris Marshall and Donovan Papel. And then we got Jamari Hawkins over, and obviously Jelani Watkins, who's currently with track. But I think those three guys have been solid additions to the room. You got guys that are returning with C.J. Brown, played a lot of ball for us last year, and obviously Jaylen Brown, he got hurt in the Notre Dame game. But those guys are smart football players. You can tell those guys have played a lot of ball, and they've been good for the room. Particularly C.J., just him being from the area. And understanding like the pride it is, he has for playing for his hometown, team. So CJ's been great. He's been great for me off the field as well in the transition and finding different restaurants and some nice little spots I can take the family to. But he's been really good, and we're excited about the young guys in the room as well. From Prevo to Trey, Blair Urban, local guys. Those guys have shown some flashes with us in the first few practices. But all in all, I think we have a really talented room. And I failed to mention Ishmael. Mm-hmm. Prior to his injury, I think he would have had a productive year last year for the Razorbacks. And another guy we're excited about, and young guy is Antonio Jordan. Yeah. I mean, he's 6'5", 235, and he has all the tools to be special. Right now he's just a baby giraffe. He's finding his way, but he's getting better each and every day.
We saw like Jamari kind of go to the front of the drills yesterday quite often. Is that just an organic type thing, or is there a seniority? How does that kind of play out? And what do you think of Jamari specifically, having been with him?
Yeah, so it's we talk about this. Jamari and I kind of joke about this all the time. This was, and Coach, you might have been with us 2 years ago. We were at the previous place, and Jamari said, "Coach, I don't feel like I belong here at the University of Memphis. I don't think I'm good enough." And just a little background on Jamari, he redshirted his freshman year there, and I got to Memphis at 2023, and I was going to Jamari's second year there, and his role on offense wasn't as big, but he found a role on special teams. And as his role increased on special teams, so did his role on offense. And his third year was productive for us, and he was an amazing gunner, jammer for us, a starter for us on kickoff. And as he got going, confidence started building up for him, and his role increased. And then this past year, he had a career year for himself, over 600 yards receiving, a couple touchdowns, but he still was excelling on special teams. So just seeing his growth over the previous 3 years is just very pleasing to see him. 2 years ago, he had no confidence in himself, but now you look at him and, bro, now you're in the SEC. So I think, like you said, kind of touched on why he was in the front of the lines. He understands how the drills are. He understands him now being a senior and kind of being, taking himself and putting himself in that leadership position, which is something he wasn't accustomed to doing because he was always felt like he was the guy that was in the back of the line. But just seeing his growth and maturity has been very pleasing.
Sorry, man.
No, you're good. You're good.
The other day, one of the coaches in here said he felt like Chris Marshall was a dog. I mean, just talk about how good he is. He was a 5-star out of high school. Talent's never been his issue. How do you feel like he's going to do his 1 year here? I mean, this kind of last chance to a degree. Have you seen good things out of him?
Yeah, no doubt. Chris understands this. This is his last year. He only has 1 year to get it right, and we all know his history. But we had that honest conversation on his visit as well, and we addressed all the issues that he's previously had. But he's locked in. He's a smart football player, but he is a dog. Like he has that dog in him. You see why he was at those previous places. You see why he was a 5-star coming out of high school, because he has all the talent. He has all the tools. And the challenge is going to be for him is, can he consistently do that on a day in and day out? But he's learning. But yeah, Chris, I think Chris can be special for us along with other guys. But you do see why Chris, was highly touted coming out of high school.
Courtney Crutchfield is someone that's there again out of high school, is really highly ranked. He not had success yet in college, but what have you seen from Courtney?
You see the ability. You see the athleticism from Crutch. And another thing with him is just, can he be consistent? But I think he's taking his body more serious. We joked about it a couple weeks ago. I think last year he was like 207 pounds, and now he's down to like 187. So I think it started with him changing his body and understanding he has to mature. I think he was immature in his first couple of years of college, and I think that kind of hindered him from getting on the field. But he understands the seriousness of this thing as well, because we're constantly going to recruit guys to come in and try to contribute. And I'm excited for Crutch. I'm excited for him, man, and I'm looking forward to it. The first 4 days, he's shown some flashes. But there's a couple things he had to clean up on from a detail standpoint. But all in all, I think he's starting to understand like how important this game is, and understand like this is a business and it's not all fun and games. But Crutch, matter of fact, he texted me an hour ago, say, "Coach, I get done with study hall 11. I want to come meet with you today." So like small things like that is just letting me know that he's starting to mature and understand that he wants to. Now's the time for him to develop and take his game to the next level.
Larry, I was curious, you were around AJ last year as well, saw him as a freshman, young guy. Where has he made the biggest growth, you think, from last year to this year?
With AJ, when he first got on campus, because he was mid-year enrollee for us, and he was learning the offense, and we were going through spring ball, he would text each offensive coach individually and then go through the script with us the night before. So, whenever we're done with our position meetings, I would go back in my office and I would review the script. He'll text me, "Hey, Coach Smith, man, can I come by and review the script?" So we'll go through each play of the script. Then the next day it'll be Jeff, our offensive line coach. The next day it may be Mitch. So just understanding like that kid loves ball, and just seeing him develop, and you can see his body change. Even though he's 240 pounds, he was maybe 230 last year, but it was a baby fat 230. And early on, he was a baby giraffe. He'll run and trip and fall over his cleats, and now you're seeing him. He's staying upright. But no, we're excited about AJ because he's a football junkie. The kids naturally gravitate towards him. He's a natural leader, but he's very, very smart and really, really high football IQ. And just seeing him transition, to this to here in Arkansas, I think has been really good. And having Coach Mitch as a coach, for him, just being very comfortable. And being, playing the quarterback position, I think comfort is very, very important, and particularly with people that you're familiar with and the system that you're familiar with. So we're excited for him, and we're definitely glad he's here.